Let me paint you a picture. Imagine one of those massive North Korean military parades. You've got the goose-stepping soldiers, the thunderous chants, and right there, in the middle of it all, is this young woman with a calm, almost serene smile on her face. She doesn't look like a threat, but she just might be the most powerful person you've never really heard of.
So let's get right into it. Her name is Kim Yo-jong. She's the younger sister, the only sister, of North Korea's supreme leader Kim Jong-un. For years, she was basically a ghost, just a whisper in the halls of power, always seen in the background.
You'd see her everywhere he went, at every meeting, every summit. To the outside world, she just looked like this super loyal assistant. You know, sometimes she's holding his documents, other times she's literally holding an ashtray for him. She seemed like just a helper, a confidant, and that's it. Or so we thought.
Right, but behind that quiet smile, another, much scarier label has started to stick. Experts and analysts are now calling her the world's most dangerous woman, and they're warning everyone not to underestimate her. So the big question is, how on earth did we get from ashtray holder to that? How did this quiet sister become a figure of international fear? Well, to really understand her, we have to go back, way back, to a childhood that was completely shrouded in secrecy. Her story doesn't begin in some grand Pyongyang palace. Nope. It starts thousands of miles away, in a quiet European city, where this incredibly powerful bond between brother and sister was forged completely undercover. Get this. In the 1990s, Kim Yo-jong was shipped off to Bern, Switzerland. She was enrolled in a public school under the fake name Park Mi-hung. Her brother, Kim Jong-un, joined her soon after, also using a fake name. They were living in this ordinary apartment, trying to act like normal kids, but their life was anything but. Their home was crawling with North Korean officials, relatives, and a whole team of undercover bodyguards. So after she gets back to North Korea around the year 2000, she doesn't just fade away. Not at all. Instead, she starts this quiet, but incredibly calculated, climb right to the very heart of the regime. Now, what's really fascinating here is just how strategic this all was. Look at 2012. At just 23, she's made tour manager. Sounds like a minor job, right? Wrong. It was a genius move. It gave her complete control over her brother's travel, his security, everything. But her power was about to get a whole lot bigger. By 2014, she was basically running the propaganda and agitation department. You have to understand, this is the nerve center of the entire state. She was now the person building her brother's godlike image, making sure he looked just as powerful and revered as their grandfather, the nation's founder, Kim Il-sung. For years, all this power was being flexed from the shadows. But then a few key things happened that ripped the curtain back, and the world finally saw the ruthless commander who'd been hiding behind that diplomatic smile. At the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, she made history. She was the first member of the Kim dynasty to ever step foot in the South since the Korean War. And she was brilliant. She smiled, she charmed world leaders. The world saw this modern, friendly face for a notoriously brutal regime. And then, in April 2020, the mask came all the way off. Her brother disappeared from public, sparking all these rumors that he was dead. And out of that silence came her voice. She released her first ever personal statement, calling South Korea a frightened barking dog. The message to the world was crystal clear. If my brother's gone, I'm ready to take over. And her power isn't just political talk. She is seen as a master of the Kim dynasty's most brutal tactics. Sources claim she was the mind behind executing her own uncle just for not clapping hard enough. She's also been linked to the assassination of her half-brother in an airport. And then, in 2020, she ordered the demolition of the Inter-Korean Liaison Office, a symbol of peace, just to send a message. But beyond the alleged violence, her main weapon today is her voice. She's become the regime's #1 attack dog, and the language she uses is just shockingly aggressive and personal. I mean, her statements are like nothing else in world politics. She calls people who escape North Korea scum and filthy insects. She dismissed the U.S. president as an old man with no future and called the South Korean president an American hungry dog. This isn't just tough talk. It's a projection of absolute, unapologetic power. So all of this is pointing in one direction. Today, she's not just her brother's advisor. She is widely considered the de facto #2 leader and his designated heir. And if you need more proof, just look at the data. In the last few years, she has issued over 40 official statements for the regime. That role used to be exclusively for the supreme leader. She has become the official mouthpiece of North Korea, which signals a massive shift in how power works there. You know, history's had its share of ruthless female rulers. You had China's Empress Wu Zetian, England's Bloody Mary Tudor. They were known for being brutal. But here's the difference, and it's a big one. Neither of them had their finger on a nuclear button, and neither of them ruled a totally sealed-off state with absolute control over everything. This is what makes her potential rule so unprecedentedly dangerous.
So here's the bottom line. The woman who was once dismissed as a quiet assistant has systematically transformed herself into the regime's undisputed Iron Lady. She's incredibly smart, she's ruthless, and she is perfectly positioned to take over one of the most dangerous countries on the planet.
And this all leaves us with one final chilling question. The debate isn't really about if she's dangerous anymore. It's about what happens when she finally officially steps out of her brother's shadow for good. Is the world at all prepared for a new kind of leader? A female dictator whose anger could literally shake the entire planet?